For thousands of years, philosophers, monks, and scientists have traveled to Tibet, a place of legends before anyone could reach it. Standing over 4,500 meters above sea level, the freezing mountain air contains a third less oxygen than the flat plains. In winter, temperatures drop to minus 40 degrees, creating one of the harshest and most unforgiving environments on Earth. Yet thousands of years ago, one of the most mysterious and spiritually advanced civilizations in human history quietly emerged here. Even today, bizarre phenomena occur across this frozen plateau that modern scientific logic fails completely to explain or understand. At an altitude of 4,700 meters lies Namtso, one of the largest and highest saltwater lakes in the world. In the local language, Namtso means heavenly lake, celebrated for its deep blue water that looks like open cosmic space. Unbelievably, between 2000 and 2020, the lake expanded so rapidly that several ancient monasteries on its shores were partially submerged. This was not a slow geological process, but a sudden, rapid rising occurring directly before the eyes of local residents. While melting glaciers explain Namtso's growth, neighboring lakes on the very same high plateau show absolutely no similar behavior. Under the exact same climate, some lakes shrink while others remain completely unchanged, defying all logical modern environmental models. No one can convincingly explain why Namtso grows faster than all others, specifically swallowing temples that stood for centuries. Local lamas fiercely claim the lake is a living spirit that actively breathes, its rising cycles unrelated to physical climate. They believe the lake operates on cosmic cycles, described by an ancient Tibetan term that has no equivalent Western translation. While modern scientists reject this spiritual explanation, they have failed completely to provide any proven geological theory of their own. In western Tibet, on the high cliffs of Ngari, lie the desolate, ghostly ruins of a once massive medieval kingdom. This was Guge, one of the wealthiest and most highly developed civilizations of medieval Asia, flourishing for 7 centuries. Home to over 100,000 people, the grand capital boasted majestic palaces, sacred temples, and massive, priceless libraries. Merchants from India, Persia, and China gathered here, establishing Guge as the glorious birthplace of the second Buddhist revival. The temple frescoes inside Guge remain incredibly vibrant today, preserved flawlessly for centuries by the extremely dry mountain air. But in the 17th century, this highly prosperous empire vanished almost instantly, leaving behind an empty, silent ghost city. When European explorers finally reached Guge, they found untouched grain, clothes, and tools, as if everyone walked away instantly. While historians suggest a sudden invasion, this theory fails to explain why absolutely no survivors ever returned to rebuild. Why would descendants of such a grand empire completely abandon and forget the magnificent capital city of their ancestors? Tibetan legends claim the last king used a powerful, sacred spell to permanently seal the city from evil intruders. The spell did not destroy Guge. It simply made the city spiritually inaccessible to anyone entering with dark intentions. Today, the beautiful frescoes remain bright, but the silent stone city has stood completely empty for 400 years. Tashilhunpo, founded in 1447, is one of Tibet's largest active monasteries and the seat of the Panchen Lama. This sacred complex guards an immense library of ancient manuscripts, many of which have never been translated into English. Among these hidden archives, monks speak with deep reverence about a highly unique class of texts known as Terma. Terma represents hidden treasures, deliberately concealed by the legendary master Padmasambhava in the 8th century for future discovery. He hid these sacred teachings inside solid rock, underground, and even within the very fabric of physical reality itself. These texts are still found today, discovered deep within mountain crevices or sealed chambers hidden inside old monasteries. Highly trained monks who achieve deep meditative states claim these complex texts simply appear fully formed inside their minds. European researchers examining translated Terma describe them as highly practical guides rather than abstract spiritual or religious philosophy. These ancient documents contain detailed geographical maps, advanced medical instructions, and surprisingly accurate technical descriptions. How did 8th century texts record precise human anatomical details that match the discoveries of modern 21st century medicine? How did monks create flawless geographical maps without any aerial tools, later confirmed perfectly by modern satellite photography? While academic science cautiously attributes this to advanced ancient observation, the monks offer a much simpler explanation. The lamas state these advanced secrets were not discovered, they were simply remembered from deep, ancient cellular memory. Mount Kailash in western Tibet is one of the most famous, heavily revered sacred peaks in the entire world. 4 major global religions simultaneously worship this mountain: Buddhism, Hinduism, Jainism, and the ancient Tibetan bone tradition. This shared worship makes Kailash uniquely holy, a unified center of spiritual devotion unmatched anywhere else on Earth. Amazingly, no human has ever climbed to the summit of Kailash, despite climbers easily conquering far more difficult peaks. Out of deep respect for its sacred nature, a strict, unspoken global agreement prevents anyone from attempting a climb. But the most terrifying mystery is the mountain's shape, featuring a nearly perfect, symmetric 4-sided pyramid structure. Its 4 massive flat faces are oriented almost flawlessly toward the cardinal directions: north, south, east, and west. This perfect symmetry is practically impossible for natural geological processes like tectonic uplift or glacial erosion to create. Scientific expeditions in the late 90s revealed the mountain's faces show distinct markings resembling highly calculated artificial cutting. While mainstream academia remains deeply skeptical of these findings, they have failed completely to offer any logical counter-theories. Pilgrims performing the traditional 52-kilometer walking circle around the mountain regularly report terrifying disruptions in time perception. Many feel that only a few hours have passed, but discover their watches show a full day is gone. Despite considering altitude, extreme physical exhaustion, and thin mountain air, doctors cannot offer any logical medical explanation. In 1933, British author James Hilton published Lost Horizon, describing a hidden Himalayan valley called Shangri-La. In this mystical valley, time flows differently. People live for centuries, and ancient, forgotten global knowledge is preserved. While readers assumed this was pure fiction, Hilton actually studied classified British military intelligence reports from Tibet. These confidential files contain several independent accounts of hidden valleys that local guides fiercely refuse to enter. In Tibetan tradition, these sacred places are known as Bayul, representing hidden valleys described with precise coordinates. Several of these geographic coordinates have been verified, proving these hidden, isolated valleys are entirely real places. Yet, many of these legendary valleys remain completely undiscovered, hidden behind impassable, freezing mountain walls. Near Everest, 20th century expeditions documented locals describing a hidden valley where people entered and returned completely changed. Not everyone returned from this valley, and those who did maintained an absolute, terrifying silence about what they witnessed. These are not mere superstitions, but officially documented accounts recorded by highly respected European scientists and explorers. No expedition ever found the entrance to this specific valley, yet none could prove it did not exist. Samye, founded in the 8th century, is the very first Buddhist monastery built in Tibet. From the air, Samye looks exactly like a 3-dimensional mandala, a sacred geometric map of the Buddhist universe. The central temple represents Mount Meru, the cosmic axis of the universe, surrounded by smaller, island-like structures. This complex was built in the 8th century when aerial mapping and satellite imaging were completely non-existent. Yet the entire layout is executed with flawless geometric precision, matching complex cosmological texts perfectly. How did medieval builders construct a perfect three-dimensional layout that can only be appreciated from the sky? Western architects studying Samye point to an incredibly advanced level of spatial engineering that defies 8th century technology. The ancient texts describing the construction explicitly state the monastery was built with the active aid of non-human entities. While academic science dismisses this as religious metaphor, no architect has explained how this was, built using primitive tools. Deep in the white cliffs of western Tibet, hidden ruins are carved directly into sheer, vertical canyon walls. This desolate place was once Kumlum Nulkar, the legendary silver palace of the Garuda, capital of Zhangjiang. Zhangjiang flourished on the high Tibetan plateau long before Buddhism, existing from 500 BC to the 7th century. They created their own complex language, distinct script, and the Bon religion, which heavily shaped modern Tibetan Buddhism. Yet, the physical location of their grand capital remained a complete, unsolved mystery for over 1,000 years. The first serious scientific expeditions only reached these remote white ruins in the late 1990s. What they discovered on the steep summit of Mount Kailash completely shattered previous historical assumptions about the region. Sprawling over 100,000 square meters, the massive stone ruins feature complex hidden tunnels carving deep into the mountain. This monumental scale was impossible for a simple mountain tribe, as Zhangjiang was traditionally described in Western history books. But the true shock came during the excavation of elite tombs, revealing fragments of highly precious ancient silk. Testing proved this silk belonged to the Han Dynasty, showing identical patterns to fabrics found in Xinjiang's ancient tombs. This precious Chinese silk traveled over 1,000 kilometers across desolate deserts and freezing mountain passes to reach Tibet. This meant Zhangjiang was not an isolated mountain community, but an active, highly connected hub of the Silk Road. Where scientists expected to find a primitive settlement, they discovered a crucial node of massive, intercontinental trade networks. Then, in the 7th century, this highly advanced, wealthy civilization vanished rapidly and completely from history. Their unique language died out, and their cities became ghosts. Yet their sacred Bon religion survived to this day. The mysterious Kumlum Nulkar still stands, but how such a massive empire vanished almost trace-free remains entirely unanswered. Tibet stands as a powerful, silent reminder that our modern map of reality is heavily incomplete and deeply flawed. Beyond the rigid boundaries of what we assume is scientifically possible, there are ancient, unexplained forces active in the world. We are literally looking up at Tibet, which towers 4,500 meters above us, both physically and perhaps spiritually. The incredible anomalies discovered on this high plateau are forcing humanity to completely rewrite its ancient historical timeline. Which of these incredible Tibetan mysteries do you believe holds the most dangerous secret for our modern world? Share your fascinating theories in the comments section below, and let us know what you believe is hidden. Make sure to subscribe to Remnants of Time right now so you never miss another dark historical documentary. Hit the notification bell to join our elite circle of investigators before the algorithms bury these truths forever. Thank you for watching. Stay vigilant, keep questioning, and we will see you all in the next silence. Until then, remember that the ground beneath your feet is always keeping score. Sleep well.